Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we arrived here in Kaldisla once again after entering the Holy Pillar, and we did battle with the male members of the Eternian Sky Knights. It's a completely new encounter here. As you can see in the bottom screen, sub-scenarios are very different here in Chapter 7. And today we're going to be continuing to look at some of them, heading over to Florum. As you can see, Anchime doesn't have any for some reason, but that's no issue to us. So I think we'll real quick check up on Narinde Village, and then we're going to jump right straight into it. I don't want to dawdle around the bush a little bit here. So we obtained India's Garb from the Combat Item Shop, completing that shop. So we have, what, 2 more to go, and then we're completely done with Narinde Village. Let's go ahead and go to the trader to get Agnes's Knight's Tunic. I would go over the Knight's Garb. Sorry, not the Knight's Garb. I would go over India's Garb right now like I did the Onion shirt yesterday, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Instead, I think I'm going to wait a little bit to go over that one in more detail, as it has a bit of a longer story behind it. So today we're going to be starting out here in Florum Gardens. We're not going to go to Florum just yet. And I've made another change to my team composition. As we saw, the fight against Ominous, Barris, and Heinkel was really, really tough and put our team to the limit. So we're going to be trying out something a little bit different just to showcase it. The biggest change that we're making is that Ring the Bell is actually going to be on Knight. He's still going to be running Spiritism as a job command, but we're going to be running dual shields on him, which effectively making him a super powerful tank that mitigates light and dark magic. Now, I don't want to spoil too much based on my loadouts, but I would highly suggest you equip a bunch of dark shields and star pendants on your team, as they'll be very much needed. Everyone else, though, Adia, Agnes, and Tiz have not changed since last episode, and will be performing similar roles. Though, there will be something about Adia that might change a little bit based on how I want to do things. So, Florum Gardens, there is actually a blue chest here that we need to take care of. Similar to regular treasure chests, blue chests do not respawn. Once you've grabbed them in one world, you've grabbed them in all of them. And so there's only one of those items. So it's just right up here in Florum Gardens Central. We'll go ahead and grab that, see what it is, and then I'll see you at the end of the dungeon. Royal Crown. All right, let's take a look at that. Royal Crown has no special effects. It's just a big defense increase. I don't think that's worth it. Also, speaking of gear, I did equip the Lordly Robes on Agnes, which we got 4 of those from Ominous last episode. So, that increases the wearer's mind by 10, but it also increases their magic attack. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, along with being a pretty significant defense increase from the Luminous Robe or the Star Corset. So, it's very, very good outfit. I'm very happy with that. I'm glad I bit the bullet and tried to grind out 4 of those from Ominous. But we're here with the Adventurer. It only gets worse from here on in. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ari, you're looking down on the dumps? We shouldn't get too sidetracked. Let's head to one of the temples now. No, Ari, we're doing something a little bit more important. So this is a build, I'm gonna be frank, I'm not all too confident in, though I do think this will work. This is something that I've tried a few times on my own time, against much harder bosses, but it's worked. One thing I do want to mention, I pointed out speed being a very important factor last episode, as enemies are much faster in Chapter 7. The way you can see that is by going into your status menu, and then going to their base values, you can check and see their agility. If their agility is fairly high, I suggested 75 to 80, you're doing fairly well. If they aren't at 75 to 80, bring a time mage to cast haste or slow on, haste on your whole party or slow on the enemies, and you should be fine. For this build that I'm doing right here, though, the most important thing to note is I want Ringabel to be slower than my party, but faster than my team. But faster than my enemies. Mostly because I want to get buffs out from my whole party, but I want Ringabel to act last because he might have some abilities that I want him to use. I already saved up, so let's head inside.
I go to the trouble of founding the Eternian Board of Girl Power, recruit members from across the duchy. And this is the turnout? What ails the girls of Eternia these days? What happened to girl power? Surely you agree, Artemia? That sickly, sweet fame seeker so eager to do anything for attention. And that arrogant old bag who thinks her curves will last out the year. Ha! A fine pair of fools, the both of them. Wouldn't you say, Kikyo? Artemia, I like what your sister Aineria has been doing with that classical relaxed look. Sister have zero girl power. Sister have more man power than man! Anyone want some candy? Good! Sweet! This girl power! Yes it is! Artemia admire your girl power! Artemia give Victoria this! Is this? It is! A Frosty Charm bracelet! And it's the Eternian limited edition! I can really have it? Artemia make bracelets. Sell to many trader. Wholesale, side job. Really? You're the one who makes these? Artemia all alone is child, raised by Frosty. So Artemia know what Frosty looked like. Artemia even make Frosty with eyes closed. Oh, that's girl power. Girl power. Artemia give to Kikyo too.
This perfectly captures the essence of those cute little Frosties. I just adore how you've reproduced every last detail. I envy those amazingly talented hands of yours and humbly request you make Carbuncle and Ratatoss charm bracelets next. That would be lovely, thank you.
Oh, what a chatterbox you are! Good trick, good lung capacity, great fluency! Yours is a strange and wondrous brand of girl power, Kikyo. What have we here? Uninvited guests? Pitiful fools, jealous of our girl power. Grind them to dust, ladies.
What a strange yet a really interesting trio. It's weird to see any of these girls out on their own. I guess Kikyo is technically a solo individual, but Artemia without her sisters and Victoria without Victor. Also, the whole girl power thing, I love this little group to bits. I'm not a big fan of any three of these girls individually, but together they make one of my favorite little trios. I like this a lot. Though, despite my affinity for this trio, they are very, very dangerous. While none of them are particularly very tanky in terms of HP and whatnot, they are all dangerous in their own right. Now, I did mention equip Dark Shields and Star Pendants. That's mostly because Victoria is our biggest threat here. She is going to be dealing some pretty significant damage with her magics, but if you can nullify it, then there you go. Real quick, I'm going to be casting Karai on Ringabel, as I want him to basically be our main tank here. Redirecting attacks towards himself with either Karai or just his presence alone. And then we're going to go ahead and Ironclad, just to raise his physical defense, while we increase our speed. I doubt I'll be able to outspeed every member of this boss fight because Kikyo is a ninja, which means he's very fast. But hopefully we can figure something else out here. Yeah, Sheepa Jinrai. Yeah, look at that, 400-ish damage against Ring-a-Bell. Like that's nothing. Dark, he's immune to it. That's fine. The biggest threat here is Victoria, as if you're running this composition or you have a way of mitigating damage, then the biggest thing you need to worry about is Victoria's ability to cast Doom on your team. Now, obviously, you can try to resist it, but then you run the risk of losing resistances on something else. So you'll need to play around the fact that she can cast Doom on your team, and hopefully that won't screw you over. I think for right now, what I'm going to do is use Ring-a-Bell to cast Stillness while we build ourselves up, and then we will work on what we need to do. Tiz is going to be stealing again, because there's some very important items we want to grab here. There's Corpse, which will kill Tiz in 2 turns, but that's okay. He's going to be stealing. It's okay if he dies right now. We're going to have Edea default. Agnes is going to Brave a few times to get Quick out. And then we'll heal up, because unfortunately she's going to be stuck as kind of our main healer, because Ring-a-Bell is utilizing Spiritism. We're going to use Tiz to go ahead and shake down everyone here, and hopefully we can get our loot. Victoria and Kikyo both have loot that I really, really want. Artemia, not so much. Nothing. Brave Suit. Yoichi's bow. Awesome. The Brave Suit is a chess piece that will start out the user with 1 extra BP at the beginning of combat. Okay, I couldn't get anything from our Victoria, so we'll need to work on that later down the road. There's poison, but we guard from it. Targeting's not going to do anything. Let's go ahead and set out to take down Artemia, because that is the individual who will be doing the most damage to us. I don't think I actually need Breaking Wave. Artemia is not physically very tanky, so we shouldn't have many issues. We're going to have Ring-a-Bell go ahead and Ironclad as well. Actually, no, we'll go ahead and have him just default. Build up some BP here. Sheepa Jinrai on Agnes. Unfortunately, I don't have any decent aggro tools outside of Edea, who was busy. There's Multiburst, but it's not really doing anything too much. Tiz goes down, but that's okay. We have Ring-a-Bell here. You would say that, oh, this is not looking that great, but no, we're fine. Because Ring-a-Bell can immediately raise people and then cast Stillness, and he's not going down himself. Yes, Edea just went down, but that's okay. We literally have another full turn of staying alive. There we go. No problem here. Obviously, it could be worse. It could be better, but we'll be okay. We're going to raise everyone, and then I'm going to cast Rejuvenation with Agnes, which will give us some BP, HP, and MP. And then I'm going to cast Haste, and then we'll probably call a turn here with her. This isn't going as well as I'd hoped, but we'll make it work. Sheepa Jinrai, protect allies, coming in clutch there. Protecting Agnes because she's low HP. Get everyone back to being healthy. Give everyone a lot of BP. And then Haste. With hindsight, another decent support job I could have run on Ring-a-Bell would have been Piracy or Vampirism to lower their attack power. We'll go ahead and Karai on Ring-a-Bell, and we'll have him Ironclad to raise his physical defense, while we have Agnes apply Protect on everyone, just in case Sheepa Jinrai decides to activate, and then we're going to just mug Victoria until she gives me what I want. Speed things up here. Ironclad, mug. All right, there's the life ring. There we go. Don't need to worry about that anymore. We can send Tiz out into the negative. Oh, they all went to Edea. Okay, so Utsusemi. Now that Kikyo is a part of a group, you can just use AoE spells to activate Utsusemi, but not transients. So keep that in mind. We're gonna go ahead and use Breaking Wave here just once to keep the special going. And we'll default with everyone else. Yeah. Sheepa Jinrai blocking for Edea. And, I mean, they're doing literally no damage to Ring-a-Bell. So we're perfectly fine right now. There we go. It wasn't... We're not doing this to do a lot of damage. We're just mostly doing this to give us some wiggle room on these buffs that we have here. And I want to try and take advantage of them as much as I can. We're going to Ironclad here. We're going to Brave a little bit with Agnes to re-up haste. And also, let's go ahead and cast Re-Raise, just in case we get doomed again. I want to be able to just kind of immediately rectify that. And then Tiz will default right now. Ironclad, Sheepa Jinrai, Protect Ally. Yeah, Kikyo is not getting what she wants out of this. Man, Victoria is not being all that helpful. This is strange. Most of the time whenever I do this encounter, she's a nuisance, but she's playing this pretty bad. I'll be honest. Let's keep going for Artemia, though. I want to try and get her out of the picture as soon as possible. There we go. The Godspeed Strikes should be enough to take her down. Hopefully. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. Godspeed Strike on... Okay, Victoria. Okay, Transience on Idia, yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't have any control over who she was going to go after Artemia was down. So, that's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and activate Holy Magic so we can focus on Victoria next. And we'll go ahead and cast Stillness to give us some room. And we're going to default with Agnes. Sheepa Jinrai is protecting an ally. Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of the Knight or Protect Ally, but this is a case where this job really shines and is very, very effective at what it does. So I'm not going to diss it today. We're going to re-up haste, and then we'll do 2 quicks, and hopefully we can get this done. Sheepa Jinrai. Tiz was... They were going after Tiz so much in the... in last episode's battle. Now it's Idia, man. I guess she currently is kind of like the most open, as she doesn't have any dark defenses and whatnot. She is the weakest physically in terms of defense. What do I want to do, honestly? I guess I could cast... I could cast Slow. Maybe I can try and keep them under wraps. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that. Cast Slow on all foes. Sheepa Jinrai protecting our ally. Thank you. This might be enough to take down Victoria. She's not very strong physically. No, that's okay. We'll have Ring a Bell go ahead and cast Stillness again. And then we'll have Agnes re-up our haste. Actually, she already did that 2 turns ago. We don't need it just yet. Okay, we'll default. And then Tiz... we'll go ahead and Godspeed Strike because he will go before Victoria will, which is why I wanted him to be fast, but not so fast. There we go. So we can get our chip damage in before Stillness activates. So, you know, we can work with it. We can work around that. We're going to have Idia defaults, Ring a Bell defaults. We still have Stillness active. Unfortunately, Kikyo can't do anything to us now unless she uses Itsusemi because everyone here is low HP, and so Ring a Bell is just going to keep guarding for them. So honestly, healing might be a detriment, if anything. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and Brave. We're gonna haste, and then re-up our quicks. See what we can do with this. Sheepa Jinrai. Quick. And then we can set Idia to go on the offense this turn. And then Ring a Bell. We can just go ahead and have him supercharge. Why not? He has a lot of defense. Let's see how much damage this does. If she lives to tell the tale. Which she might not. Nope, she didn't. Alright. Well, Ring a Bell did his job anyways. He was a super powerful tank. In the battle with mostly single target attacks, this is pretty useful. Especially since I ruined Victoria's game plan by not allowing her to poison us. This went pretty well. We got Dwarven Gloves, Crystal Helm, Magic Armlets, and a Kunai.
Strong! No have girl power, like sister. You're right. Let's quit this place before the barbarians begin to rub up on us.
Should I be mad? I feel mad. Really authentically angry.
Okay, Victoria, you may not be a psycho witch in this world, but you can't just go calling on our girls barbarians. No, thank you. Oh man, yeah, that went pretty well. I'm perfectly satisfied with this outcome. Yeah, that's a really interesting trio, the girl power trio. They don't even care about Eternia. They're just hanging out here in the Flory dwelling. I honestly don't know really what to make of this. What an interesting trio. I'm gonna head back to Florum so we can heal up, and then I think I'm not as tired as before that previous battle, so I think we'll go ahead and tackle another one. Alrighty, here in Florum, we have a party chat for us. Thanks for the eat. Oh, I see you've become quite the meat eater now, Agnes. Yes, I can eat meat now, just not too much. When we first met, you couldn't eat fish, let alone meat. That is true. When was it that you first started to eat fish and meat? It wasn't the first world. She still couldn't eat it then. Perhaps it was from the third world? In truth, it was since the first world. Really? When? It was what Ringabel said on our way from Florum to Eisenberg. What did he say? Sometime after we left Grandship, our provisions started to grow low, and... Yes, I remember that. What an awful experience. We all dangled lines and hooks overboard all day long. Yet we barely caught a thing. And even when we did, Agnes couldn't eat it anyways. We couldn't even harvest seaweed because we were so far out at sea. Remember that one night where we split that little herring we caught amongst ourselves? At that time, partially because of what happened to Olivia, I had closed my heart to you all. I will never forget this. I did not eat a bite of the grilled Eisen flounder that you had prepared for me, Tiz. That is when Ringabel said to me, Agnes, who do you think when food is put on the table? And he scolded me, saying it was rude to not eat what Tiz had made for me. That was the first time I thought of it that way, but even more surprising was what Ringabel said next. The word thanks is not only for Tiz, who prepared your meal. It's also for the life that was sacrificed so you could eat. That was quite a shock to me, saying thank you for a life taken. I'd always avoided eating meat and fish because I associated it with taking a life. But Ringabel opened my eyes. Everything I consumed, whether grain, vegetable, even tea, was once alive. But if I were to say my thanks to all life that had been sacrificed so I could eat and live, then there's no reason you can't eat meat and fish. Yes, exactly. That's not at all like Ringabel to say something as profound as that. I learned from the Grand Marshal. You were there too, Idia. You must have heard what he said. Really? Wait. Oh. Maybe I remember? I really like that party chat, mostly because we don't get to see a lot of interaction between Agnes and Ringabel in the main game, like throughout cutscenes and whatnot. So it's nice to just see that, and it just gives us a little bit of kind of a reminder that this is a quartet, that these are a group of 4 people who communicate with each other, rather than just 2 groups of 2. Because, you know, most of the cutscenes are kind of segmented, where Agnes and Tiz talk about stuff, and Idia and Ringabel talk about stuff, but never really mingling in between. So it's nice to see that kind of thing. So, I've made another adjustment. No job changes this time around, but I have made some support ability adjustments. The main one being, Agnes is bringing along Hasten World. Now, veterans of this game immediately can probably guess what I'm going to be doing with this. This support ability alone creates a lot of abusable strategies that you're pretty much always going to see this run with some of the most overpowered strategies and builds in the game. And while I will not be showcasing those today, save that for later, I will be running what is well known as a Hasten World Stillness strat, which is basically where you get out all of your attacks, and then you immediately stillness before any enemy can hit you, and you just do that every single turn thanks to Hasten World. The VP cost is not a problem. I do not think that this is something you should run if you actually want to have a difficult time fighting these opponents, but I want to showcase it because it is a viable strategy, and I am running out of times to really showcase it in a way that it isn't unbelievably busted, but that it still showcases just how powerful these support abilities are. So, we're going to be heading east here over to Yoyana Needleworks, which can probably give you an idea of who we're going to be battling. Though, first things first, let's go ahead and change up our gear a little bit. I don't need star pendants and whatnot. Once again, I would like to reiterate to keep an eye on your character's agility stat. Make sure they're as high as you can reasonably get them, as it's very important for this strategy. You want to make sure that whoever's going to be casting Stillness, which in this case is Ring-a-Bell, is fast, but that everyone else in your party is considerably faster than them, so there's no chance of some mishaps occurring. Anyways, let's go say hi to our old friend. There's nothing for us here, no new shop items and whatnot, so we're just gonna say hi.
And who have we here? Oh my! Familiar faces, one and all, but all grown up. So I ask, why have you come? Do you wish for me to assess your progress so far?
Wait, you don't mean...
So, he's going straight to the point here. You know, I feel pretty confident. Let us do battle.
Ah, the ardor of youth. Best brace yourselves. A job, a legend born 1,800 years past. Oh, but you'll have to excuse me a moment. Time out.
Huh?
And what's this, presents? Ah, it seems she found what she was after.
She? Who? And are we going to fight or not?
No need to be hasty, child. My tasty little disciple is nearly here.
Tasty? Master, it's been far too long. Mephilia!
You're looking lovely as ever, child. Though it wouldn't kill you to write now and again. Last I heard, you had abandoned yourself to the depths of despair. But now I sense the power of Susano O within you. He's not the sort to be tamed by someone in a state of spiritual confusion.
It was a mercy I never found his whereabouts during those troubled times. I'd have failed to claim this power, and quite possibly lost much more.
I take it the fellow outside has something to do with it? Well, don't keep him standing there.
Yes, Master. Please, come in.
Oh, all right then. Pardon the intrusion.
A fine specimen of a man, this one. Ah, but you look familiar.
The name is Hayreddin Barbarossa. Captain Barbarossa, if you like. I sought Susano by the dying wish of my dear friend Suleiman.
Suleiman, you say? So Mephilia's... he's gone from this world, is he?
Losing him was what first plunged me into my spiral of despair. The cruelty and Florim I was forced to play a hand in only made matters worse. Had my elder sister Einherja not shepherded me away from such dark duties, I would surely have... It was just as I regained some measure of sanity that I received word from Barbarossa.
I misread the word Suleiman left me, I'm ashamed to say. And in grand fashion, I'd been sailing waters so misreckoned as to make a man's head swim.
Barbarossa took me aboard for all my haste and delivered me to the anchorite of war.
Only managed to set a wrong course 2 or 3 times along the way.
He then bravely offered to guard me from the anchorite's ordeal.
Weren't nothing more than anyone with a big axe would have done.
That is how I mastered Susanoo. Alone, I would surely have failed. But with Suleiman's strength, my sister's thoughtfulness, and Barbarossa's support.
The aid of others does not diminish the scale of one's achievements. Indeed, for one who so closed her heart to others, seeing such cooperation is wonderful. A greater accomplishment even than taming Susanoo's fury. And one that I pray will be a greater strength to you than any spell. Ah, but speaking of trials, I am confronted now by these fearless foes you see before me. I would have you, Mephilia, and that gentleman there assist these tired old bones of mine.
What? But... With delight. Summoner Mephilia Venus is ever ready for a challenge.
Likewise, hey, Redden Barbarossa, first mate of the Black Blaze.
Likewise, weak, tired old conjurer Juliana.
And now we face what I like to call the Susanoo Trio, as they all kind of have a connection to him in some way or another. This trio is very, very, very dangerous, as we're literally fighting the hardest-hitting physical attacker in the game, Barbarossa. We're fighting one of the hardest-hitting magical attackers in the game, Mephilia, and we're fighting the Conjurer Sage Juliana, who is really, really good at both. So, you have to accommodate for both of that. Also, if you were paying attention to the cutscene, Mephilia mastered Susanoo. She's going to be casting Susanoo in this battle, which means she's going to be doing non-elemental damage. There is no way you can block her earth damage, as she's not going to be casting it. Which is why I wanted to showcase the stillness strategy with this fight, because this one is going to be brutal. And this first turn is going to be really what showcases... is going to be kind of the deciding factor of whether or not this strategy works. We're going to be immediately casting Stillness with Ring a Bell, and hoping that we can get all of our stuff out as soon as possible, and that we don't die while we're trying to do this. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of Group Cast All for Anya, so she's going to have to rely on Hastaga to get our haste up as soon as possible. Everyone else default. Slow down here. Okay, we got our haste out in time. There's Stillness. Okay, we're in the clear. Now, Defang and whatnot, the debuffs will still apply. Ailments, debuffs, and whatnot will still get through Stillness. It's just damage that it blocks. So, Barbarossa, you'll have to keep an eye on that. Thankfully, everything else about this encounter, we have just mitigated entirely. So we are free to just build up an attack. Next turn, we just reapply Stillness. We make sure that we outspeed them constantly, and this fight will be as good as done in no time. So we're going to spend this turn to build up. Barbarossa is the first one with a weakness, so he'll be our first target. So we'll be setting up Thundaga. Let's go ahead and cast Sloga to guarantee that we are faster than these guys. All foes. And then Tiz is going to go ahead and default. The items here, I'm mostly going to be looking at trying to steal from Sage Juliana, as if I believe so, he's the one that holds the gold hairpin headpiece, which will be very useful for magic casters, as it will lower the cost of magic. Now, Hasten World is a double-edged sword. As you can see, they're gaining extra BP as well, which means they're going to be attacking at least twice per turn. So if you're not running stillness with Hasten World, you need to be ready to you need to be ready to mitigate as much damage as possible, as they're going to be throwing more attacks at you at a time. Idia is going to be going for Barbarossa here. Ideally, we can get all of the buffs we need out as soon as possible, before anything horribly goes wrong. Yeah, so we're going to do Quick on Idia twice, and then we're going to ready up Hastiga, and then we're going to go ahead and start stealing. Shakedown, AoE, and then Mimic. Get some chip damage in there, and then we're going to get Stillness going there. Alright, so we got all of our items. Awesome. Death Axe, Lamia's Tiara, and a gold hairpin. So Tiz can immediately go on the offense afterwards. There's Quick, Haste, and then our damage. We're going to be doing max damage with pretty much no issue. Idiot's making me a liar there. And this is the general gimmick. We don't have to worry about Promethean Fire or anything like that. We can just go ham. We can default. We can chill out. We're gonna be basically just gonna be constantly reapplying our speed up and speed down buffs and attacking them as soon as Stillness wears off, and then immediately reapplying it in the same turn. There's not really anything these guys can do. Now, if you are doing this legitimately, my biggest piece of advice is to still bring Stillness, yes, but basically apply Stillness and then spend your time within its duration to build your physical and magical defenses as high as they can possibly get, as you're going to need it. Because these guys hit like a truck. And then make sure you bring at least black-white magic or just white magic, so you can constantly dispel Yuliana's buffs. If you do that, you'll probably be in the clear. It's still going to be a tough fight, but you'll probably make it out at least somewhat unscathed. It's not a perfect strategy, but it's the best I can really think of without leaning too much into the cheese strats. Barbarossa's down, which is nice. Less attacks to worry about. We should be able to take down our two caster opponents here without much issue, as they're a lot more frail. There's Susanoo, not going to worry about that. Revenge procced. Even though we didn't take any damage, it's still an attack, so we get the bonus from it. Idia, I'm going to have her actually re-up her sword magic. And then Ring and Bell's going to default. And we're going to reapply Sloga to our opponents. And see where we go from there. Sloga, they're not doing any damage to us, which is really nice. There we go. Now that we are in the clear, we're going to try to take down Yuliana as quickly as possible. And Mephilia won't be able to hold onto her own afterwards anyways. So we're going to haste, reapply our haste, and then we're going to set up Quick. And then Tiz, he won't be able to get too much out. I think he'll probably only be able to get 2 Godspeed Strikes out, but that's still quite a bit. That's still a really good amount of damage. It's roughly around 20,000 damage. There we go. Awesome job. There's Yuliana down. Alright, come on, take down Mephilia. Nice. And I think we actually get the unscathed bonus, yeah. So, no damage taken. This fight, if you're not cheesing it, is terrifying. But if you are, pretty simple strategy. Just make sure that you control your speed, and this will go off without a hitch. We get the Bagus Wine, Crystal Helm, Mega Elixir, a Crystal Vest, and a Turbo Ether.
Such great power. You have grown strong in such a short time, Agnes.
And you, Sage, you're quite formidable for a man of your age.
Ah, that was fun. Had to make this count, given I doubt I'll have much of a part in the coming days. Not until the time is ripe. And you, Mephilia, and your magnificent axemen there, my thanks for your assistance. Now, the Vestal and her followers here are wanted by the Duchy. What will you do? Give chase? Report them to the authorities?
I intend to leave Eternia for a time. There's something on my mind of late.
Is there now? I have an inkling of just what that might be. Very well. But do be careful, child.
I'll be begging your leave as well, sir. My thanks for the excitement. A mighty fine battle it was.
Indeed. Your prowess in combat is as much a breath of fresh air now as 15 years ago.
So you remembered that, eh? You're too kind.
Come visit again any time you please. Farewell, one and all.
I wasn't going into this battle expecting a little wrap-up on the Suleiman pirate questline, but hey, it's nice to get some wrap-up. And to see Barbarossa super carefree, as always, and Mephilia not a crazy psycho summoner, I'll take it. The Great Brussels Sprouts giveaway. Everyone, you simply must hear this. That sage is just terrible. Sage Juliana? What on earth happened? He pestered me to cook him a meal until I couldn't stand it anymore. I gave in and spent half a day in the kitchen preparing a roast bitter melon rice bowl. Ugh, not that. And do you know what the sage did with all of my hard work? He fed it to a dog when I wasn't looking. Actually, that dog left it for a cat to eat. Yes, and that cat left it for a crow. When Nadia's not trying to cook sweets or eat them, she's making really, really crappy food. I mean, the bitter melon Brussels, whatever that was, yeah, I'd probably feed it to something that doesn't understand taste, too. Well, I mean, I guess, well, dogs and whatnot do understand taste, but I would make sure to find something that does not comprehend taste so that they don't suffer. Or just throw it away, I guess. Or, you know, grin and bear it, I guess, is another way of doing it. But, okay, so, with that done, that's 2 big fights that we just took care of. I won't be cheesing as many fights going forward. I just really want to show that off. No, we're going to be adjusting team compositions, showcasing strong builds as we tackle more Eternians. So next time on Bravely Defaults, we're going to be going to Eisenberg and tackling the sub-scenario there. It seemed like there was only one, if memory serves. So we shouldn't be there for too long. And I think that'll probably be enough for tomorrow, or whatever, whenever this goes out. I have no idea if this is going to be a break period or anything. The power of having a huge buffer on videos, am I right? Anyway, with all of that said, I'll see you soon.